Thank you. Okay. How are you?
Yep, I'll brief you.
Let's meeting Board of Supervisors together. Welcome, everybody. Pledge allegiance. Be led by Supervisor Thomas.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's quick to do the roll call, please.
Mr. Conover?
Yep.
Mr. Leggett?
Here.
Mr. Diamond?
Here.
Mr. McDevitt? Ms. Bramer? Here. Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Driscoll?
Here.
Mrs. Frazier? Here. Mr. Grassi?
Here.
Ms. Hogan? Here. Mr. Dickinson?
Here.
Mr. Merlino?
Here.
Mr. Stroud?
Here.
Mr. Wild?
Here.
Mr. McGowan?
Here.
Ms. Seaver? Mr. Beatty?
Here.
Mr. Thomas?
Here.
Ms. Runyon? Here. Chairman Garrity?
Here.
Quorum is established.
First item of business, motion to approve the minutes of the October 6th meeting, subject to correction by the board. Motion by Supervisor Driscoll, second by Supervisor Grassi. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll abstain. I was not present.
One abstain. Okay. Now it's my pleasure to recognize our employee of the month. Our employee of the month. This month is Amanda Beck. Amanda is a junior planner in the planning department, and Sarah Pregafeld is here to say a few words. If we want to give Amanda a nice plaque for being the employee of the month. Over here.
So when Amanda joined the planning department in April 2019, it was her first full-time professional job out of college. She was painfully shy. We were really worried about how she was going to integrate with our sometimes boisterous office. But right off the bat, we knew that she had several qualities that would make her a good employee. She was reliable. She always showed up on time. She was a great note taker, and she was generally willing to do whatever we asked her to do. As time went on, it became increasingly clear that Amanda also had qualities that lend themselves well, particularly well to GIS, Geographic Information Systems. She's super organized. She's really attentive to detail. She doesn't mind doing repetitive tasks, of which there are a lot. And she's very willing to learn new things, which is a critical skill in a job that relies on increased and rapidly changing technology. Amanda's learned an amazing amount in the 3.5 years she's been with us. And a lot of this is due to her willingness to take the initiative to learn new things. Her growing ability to complete a lot of the routine tasks that used to take up a lot of my time has opened up the capacity of our department to take on more ambitious and creative projects. We've also loved watching Amanda come out of her shell and getting to know her. It's now hard to imagine our department without her. She has so many good qualities, but there are 3 in particular that I think elevate her to being extremely deserving of this Employee of the Month award. The first is her willingness and ability to troubleshoot. We work in a technical field with a rapidly changing set of software tools. That means that we spend a lot of time figuring out how to both create and fix things. And Amanda excels at this. She's always willing to research and work tirelessly to figure out how to accomplish new tasks and to get things back up and running when they crash. I think this is a skill that's really hard to teach. It definitely elevates Amanda from being a good employee to being a great employee. The final qualities that make Amanda deserving of this award are her initiative and her kindness. She always anticipates what we might need for upcoming projects. She takes the initiative to get things done without me having to ask her. Recently, I was out of the office for a couple of weeks with a family health emergency. Amanda not only took care of everything that needed to be done, but she also did things on my list that she knew would make my life easier when I returned to the office. Man, I'm so thankful you chose to join the planning department. Can't imagine work without you. Thank you.
So would you like to say any words?
Thank you.
You're trying to say you go over that. Congratulations.
Thank
What's
Thank
the plan? Are we gonna take it up? Congratulations. Okay. Yeah, what we should do next time? Next meeting.
Next item of business is employee of the month. And or actually, it's the leadership training program, and this month it goes to Kristen Neal, CPS supervisor, is recognized for completing the leadership training. Kristen here? No, we'll make sure that Kristen gets her certificate. Let's give her a round of applause. Okay, next we have a public hearing, and I'll ask the clerk to read the notice.
Notice is hereby given that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Warren, New York is considering the approval of a ground lease agreements between Warren County and Skimmerhorn Aviation LLC for construction of a 3-bay T hangar located at the Warren County Floyd Bennett Memorial Airport. Notice is further given that the Warren County Board of Supervisors will hold a public hearing on October 21st, 2022 at 10 a.m. in the supervisors' rooms at the Warren County Municipal Center, Route 9, Queensbury, New York, at which time and place all persons interested in the matter of such proposed ground lease agreements between Warren County and Skimmerhorn Aviation LLC for construction of a 3-bay T hangar will be heard concerning same. A copy of said proposed lease agreements are available for inspection during regular business hours by contacting the clerk of the Board of Supervisors at the above stated address and may be viewed on the Warren County website.
Okay, we'll open up this public hearing. Anybody wish to address the board on a public hearing of the T hangars? Please come up to the podium and state your name for the record. Nobody. Anybody from the Board of Supervisors would like to comment on that proposal? Okay. We'll go right into privilege. I'll leave it open for a little bit, and we'll go into privilege of floor and public comment. Anybody from the public wish to address the Board of Supervisors today on any subject?
I don't know whether I'm supposed to speak now. Okay. Okay, I'm Tracy Frisch, and I'm from Zero Waste Warren County and also the Adirondack Compost Education Council. And Barbara Judry, who's the chair of the Adirondack Compost Education Council, asked me to speak since she is out of the country right now. And this concerns the organic management plan consultant. After discussions with Kevin Hajos and Thomas Sabo, we are in complete agreement that the best of the 3 proposals submitted to complete the organic waste management plan is the GHD submission. A review of the GHD proposal verified that they have a superior team with the most experience and expertise to accomplish the required tasks. Their methodology to meet each of the stated requirements is appropriate, and the proposed budget was within the funding available. ASEC welcomes the opportunity to participate in the advisory committee to help guide the GHD team to create the best organic management plan for food waste for Warren County. Thank you for including us in the process. We look forward to working together on this plan. And this is from me and Barbara Judry for the Adirondack Compost Education Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay. Report of the chairman of the board. We had a busy month with meetings. Attended most of the committee meetings, only missed a few. Some of the other things I took place in, I went up to North Creek on the 18th of October and cast the county vote for the sewer project, which vote was found favorable. I think it's a great asset, will be a great asset to North Creek. And then I attended budget meetings, and then yesterday I went to the Warren County Tobacco Corporation meeting, which is a meeting that we have once a year. And if Treasurer Swan was here, I'd ask him to explain the ins and outs of that meeting, but we did have our yearly meeting yesterday, and all the directors were present, and we're moving on for another year. That's my report. Like I said, we're a busy month with the committee meetings and a lot of talk on the budget. Report by committee chairs. Public Works Supervisor Conover.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Public Works met the latter part of September 27th, I believe, and represented in your packet today are a number of resolutions, some under finance, but the one that I think all of it looks fairly straightforward. But the one that I would bring up would be Resolution 541. This board, I think, appropriately committed itself to a program to ally ourselves with some really excellent private sector partners and Zero Waste and others to advance the idea of reducing our the amount of our waste stream through recycling and possibly even composting. The idea here, of course, is that we all recognize the cost of disposal today. You can imagine what it will be 10 years from today. Enormous. Not only the disposal cost, but the hauling costs and everything else. So if we can find a path to recycle organic waste and reduce that by weight or volume of our waste stream by perhaps as much as 40%. That would be, by any measure, an enormous achievement, not only for us economically, but also for our environment. So we've come a long way, as you know. This is one more step in that process. Hopefully, we'll have your support today. We welcome all participation from all parties, all comments at all times. We have a staff person working this issue, and hopefully we can get somewhere in the not too distant future that will be a big plus for our county and our environment and our region. Thank you.
Okay. Supervisor Leggett, Finance EMS.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's out of 54 resolutions before you today, 23 are from Finance Committee. 17 of those are roll calls. So appreciate your patience with all of these. Numbers 520 and 521 begin the stack, and then from 549 to 569 found on page 5, 6, and 7 of your resolutions packet. 8 are for increases of capital projects, and 1 is for establishing of a capital project for the Charles Wood Park related to ice castles. 4 for the bid awards for countryside adult home renovations. 4 for ARPA appropriations. The smallest of all of these is from the treasurer's office for petty cash of $200, establishing that. Also, there's to amend an agreement for bond counsel that's related to the $7 million we are borrowing for countryside adult home, Sagamore retaining wall, and the paving budgets. There's also one for the up beyond roof repairs. And then you'll see there's a big ticket item here for the sheriff's office for the 5 unions and the out of unit interim salary increases totaling $659,254.46 for 2022 retroactive from August 1st. Those are what are before you. Appreciate your support on those. Thank you.
Okay, Supervisor McDevitt.
Yes, there are 2 resolutions, resolution 572 and 573 that are would hope everyone would support. One is environmental concerns and real property tax services adopting equalization rates for municipalities in Warren County. And the other one is relating to unpaid school taxes. These are standard annual resolutions authorized through an out of committee resolution request process. So would appreciate your support on those. Thank you.
Supervisor Bramer.
Thank you very much, Chairman. You guys will notice that there aren't any specific ARPA resolutions for today. There are some that came up through finance that are kind of through the Community Services Board. So I would ask you to support all of those. ARPA met last Friday, and those were the resolutions related to our small business relief and the emergency medical services squad, some of those were considered, but they are not on your agenda for today. There wasn't enough time to get them prepared. So I would ask that we hold off on any deliberation about those particular issues. The committee, the ARPA committee is meeting again next Friday. And if you want to weigh in on that, you're more than welcome to come. And then those resolutions will be at the next full board meeting. I think that was all. There is a resolution on about number 542 that is not changing any of the current membership of the ARPA committee. It is simply deleting those people who have resigned. So I would ask for your support on that one as well. And then if you don't mind, I'd like to report on the NISAC NACO committee. Our chairwoman is not here. Vice chair was not at the committee meeting. That third in line. So that leaves it to me. It's a resolution on to support additional training for our county staff on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And if you'll recall, we did have a resolution passed months ago about wanting to support that throughout the county. So I would ask for everyone's support on that particular initiative, which we have discussed rolling out at the beginning of next year. So wouldn't take effect immediately, but would come out as part of the training program that everyone undertakes at the beginning of each year. Thank you.
Supervisor Bruno. Facility.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. There are 3 resolutions in the packet, 522 and 523 pertain to the airport. 524 pertains to buildings and grounds. Appreciate your support on that. Additionally, at our meeting on September 27th, we discussed employee retirements in the building and code department. And in that, there are a number of people who will be retiring at the same time. We will undertake to develop a transition plan because we're going to need to get people into the department and certified so that they can carry out those duties when the time comes that they need to fill the spots that are created due to retirement. Additionally, it was noted that the Balloon Festival, we had the best turnout this year, had the best turnout for the record number of donations. And the last item was the abatement and demolition of the old jail. And we will be proceeding with that. So that's it. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Supervisor Driscoll, Human Services and Extension.
Thank you, Chairman, and good morning. Human Services met this past month. From that meeting came one resolution, number 533. It's an agreement with Hudson Headwaters Health Network, excuse me, to provide clinician services for Countryside adult home residents. I also would ask you to consider supporting resolutions 551, 552, 553, and 554, all of which are various bid awards to companies for the Countryside adult home. Human Services Committee will next meet this coming Monday morning. I believe it's somewhere around 11 o'clock. You can look at your calendars. Cornell Cooperative Extension is in the process of conducting a couple of interviews. I'm going to be participating this coming week in a senior staff position up there, as well as they're looking for I think an office manager. I can't remember the exact title of that. Cornell will be having their annual meeting and volunteer recognition banquet at the Holiday Inn Lake George this coming Thursday, October 27th. If anyone is interested in attending that, please RSVP to Extension by 3 o'clock this afternoon. That telephone number is 668-4881. And this week, I've participated in 4 interviews for a position with EMS coordinator in Office of Emergency Services at the request of Supervisor Gerasi. We have 2 more to do next week and hope to have a an announcement about that position in the very near future. Thank you.
Supervisor Frazier, Health Services.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Health Services met on September the twenty-sixth. As a result of that meeting, we have 4 resolutions, 529 through 532. 529 is from Office of the Aging, which is simply authorizing an agreement with BPI Mechanical Services to provide repairs to their refrigeration, freezer, and ice machine units. 530, 531, and 532 are from the Office of Community Services. Basically, it's authorizing agreements with various groups to utilize the opioid settlement funds. And that's my report. Thank you.
Supervisor Jurassic, Criminal Justice.
Mr. Chairman, the Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee met on September 26th. And as a result, today we have resolutions 525 through 528 for your consideration. I would ask for your supporting those. Evidence for 526 is of note. This is a resolution that will allow us to sign an agreement with Quick Series Publishing for the development of a customized mobile application for the Office of Emergency Services. And what that will do will allow the county and each individual jurisdiction, which I think is critically important, to communicate in real time with our residents or those of interest regarding emergency conditions that may exist or pending. We don't have that ability right now. This will do that. So if we got something in any one of our communities, we can reach out to the communication centers and set that message up and deliver it to our residents. So I think this is a tremendous move forward for the county. I ask for your support. And lastly, I thank Supervisor Driscoll for representing the committee.
Supervisor Dickinson, Oxy Tax, and any further ARPA reports.
Our tax met on September 26th. You have one resolution 570 came out of that. We've had a lot of discussion about a lot of different things. We've been approached with about OCTAX. Yesterday, we pretty much firmed up our OCTAX budget in outline form. You'll see that shortly. I was not at the ARPA committee, so I have no report on ARPA.
Supervisor Moreno, Tourism Park Operations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tourism has a meeting coming up on Monday, the 24th at 2:20 in the afternoon. A big agenda on that. The only other comments I'd like to make is make sure everybody saw the brochure, and if you want to get a couple to bring to your towns or give out them in the county, we have them downstairs. Mr. Snow has been traveling for the last 2 weeks, trying to meet and learn about our county and meeting with supervisors. He's willing to meet with any supervisor that'd like to meet with him and discuss some of the issues that they might have, and so we can move forward. As far as parks, and I also chair Parks and Recreation, we have that 570 on there. I would like your support. That's the water line electric for the Parks and Recreation, not parks, I'm sorry, Charliewood Festival Space. It's the last link to signing the contract with Ice Castle to come back this year. And with hopes that after this year, we might sign a 3-year contract. And the only other one I'd like support on 570, that Hood Communications. I think it's a great idea for the tourism and the county. Thank you.
Supervisor Stroud, legislative rules and.
Yes. Thank you. Legislative rules and government operations met on September 22nd. We have 2 resolutions before you today. One is numbered 534 that authorizes an agreement with Sage Smith Consulting to provide election night reporting and recording and service BA for the Board of Elections. And the other one is yet unnumbered, are to suspend the rules of the Board of Supervisors to request Board of Supervisors support to eliminate language in section B1 imposing a second monthly meeting of the Board of Supervisors. There is a provision
in the standing rules of the Board of Supervisors to call for special meetings. And so would like the board to consider in a positive manner, both of those resolutions today. Thank you.
Supervisor Wild, economic.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are no resolutions in front of the board this month. One of the things I would like to do is thank Supervisor McDevitt for chairing the committee meeting while I was gone last month. And secondly, to congratulate Supervisor Hogan and others for the approval of a referendum for a wastewater system in North Creek. And I've been pushing to try to figure out how to support this for some time. Not that I had any real impact of it, but it is something that will drive economic growth in the North Country for decades to come. And I think it's a significant event. And I think we should all celebrate this and do whatever we can to help support it moving forward. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Supervisor Thomas, you have several.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Personnel Administration and Higher Education Committee met on October 6th. In your packet is 7 resolutions, 542 through 548. The first one Supervisor Bramer talked about, those positions will also be reappointed till 12/31/23. 543 is an agreement with the Standard Medical Services for exams for police officer candidates. 544 is extending the special assistant to the county attorney till the end of the year. That position was due to end on November 14th. 545 is increasing the coordinating attorney in the public defender's office salary by $5,720. 546 is authorizing amendment agreements with all collective bargaining units at the sheriff's department to provide an interim wage increase of $2.75 per hour, retro to 8/1/22. 547 authorizes the same interim salary increase for non-bargaining employees at the sheriff's department. And 548 is introducing local law number 4 of 2022, amending local law number 1 of 2022, fixing the salary of the sheriff and setting a public hearing on November 18th. Also at that meeting, we picked up another pending item, and that's the work from home policy. And that resolution 96 of 2021. And that will be discussed at future personnel meetings. The Personnel Committee also met on September 29th to select candidates for the county administrator's position. Out of the applications that we received, 6 people were selected. And on October 17th and 18th, we conducted interviews. One candidate was unable to make his appointed time and backed out from being considered. However, we did have 5 good candidates, and we conducted 5 interviews. And we will also meet again this coming Wednesday, 10/26 at 9:30 to reestablish the second interview selections. And it's several people had left the committee meeting and would like to weigh in on it. Let's see, I think that's it for the Personnel Committee. Budget, we had a budget meeting. Well, we had one on September 29th and we had no quorum, so we didn't really have a meeting. So we had one scheduled. We did have one on the 19th here this past Wednesday. The plan was for me to file with the clerk today. However, I'm going to delay that until Tuesday and to have time to review the suggestions that were put forth at the budget committee meeting. Hopefully, the budget is going to end up close to the tax cap, but there's still like $1.5 million of money that's needed. So we hope to reduce that somewhat. And we're not going to get all of it, but at least we'll get part of it. And after it's filed. I think we probably will have another budget committee meeting. However, on November 4th, I will present the tentative budget to the board. As a special board meeting.
Thank you. And does any other supervisors wish to comment on any committee reports? Supervisor Bates.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I attended obviously many meetings this past month and I'm on the personnel and also the budget committee besides ARPA and I think we're making a lot of real positive progress in the budget and I appreciate the chairman be looking at some issues. Keeping it under the tax cap is imperative this year. More so than probably the beginning of the year I've been on the board and I've been on the board. This is my 9th year. The economic uncertainty out there is daunting. Obviously inflation, everybody knows the numbers. It's the #1 issue in America. So keeping the tax cap, keeping the budget below the tax cap is imperative. I know the chairman, to my right, Mr. Thomas, has done a very good job of doing exactly that. I want to thank Mr. Diamond from Glens Falls for a lot of positive input the last meeting on suggestions on where to look. And we're becoming creative, which we should always be, and we are. But we've done a lot of great things this year, giving increased money for our employees, which was desperately needed. We were below on a lot of different areas. So when you do that, that creates some serious challenges. Okay, and I think we're going to get there. So thanks again, Mr. Thomas. I'm positive we'll get there, keeping the increase this year below the tax cap. So thank you. Thanks.
Professor Conover.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Continuing on the financial matter, all of you should have the screen booklet sitting on your desks here, and I would ask if you could quickly turn to the final page of this booklet, which is titled Schedule of Findings and Question Costs. I'm just going to quickly say internal over financial reporting, any material costs, no. Significant deficiencies, no. Non-compliance material to the financial statements noted, no. Federal awards, same questions, no, no, no. Audit findings disclosed that are required to be reported, no. And down at the bottom, auditee qualified as low risk auditee, answer yes. And then go one step further and say financial statement finding, no findings noted. Federal award findings, question costs, no findings noted. I just want to say congratulations to everyone involved in the administration of county government, from this board all the way down through our treasury and our departments. Really well done.
Thank you. Report of acting administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Supervisor Conover, for pointing out that audit there that came up. That was one of the meetings we sat in on this past month. Attended all the committee meetings, most all the committee meetings, including the county administrator interviews and the ARPA. Took care of all the regular activities on conducting the daily business of the county. Attended the tax sale last week, which came out well. All properties sold. Send an email out as a follow-up here for the request to all department heads to comment on the work from home and remote work policy. And we've been getting good responses back on that. All that will be compiled, put together, and used to formulate, update our work from home, remote work policy. Would like to congratulate Michael Husky, an investigator with the district attorneys, for his 20 years of service. That's my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Report of county attorney.
Thank you. Good morning. It's been a busy and constructive month in the county attorney's office. I did want to start by specifically noting, commending, and thanking the county treasurer and the county treasurer's office, as well as the director of real property tax services. The auction of those properties is the last step after we complete the tax foreclosure process. And completing the tax foreclosure process would not have been possible without both departments and those individuals directly being involved and guiding me and my office through the process and guiding me through it for the first time this past year. So thank you very much. We are starting it up today for the next round of tax foreclosure next year. Since the last board meeting, we have received 2 notices of claim against the county. One relating to a slip and fall filed by Jeremy Myers. The second in Lake George. The second is a notice of claim filed by June Maxim against the county, naming one supervisor as a party on the notice of claim as well. Both of those have been reported to our insurance carrier, and we're awaiting an assignment of counsel at this time. As far as lawsuits, I am going to ask for an executive session in a moment, but for purposes of public information and public update, last month I had advised that the lawsuit against the Warren County Board of Elections was dismissed by the Supreme Court. The plaintiff, Richard Calvier, in that case has filed a notice of appeal. And because it deals with election law, the appeal is an expedited appeal to the Court of Appeals. And our representation will continue in that matter if they perfect their papers in the next few weeks, seeking relief from the Court of Appeals. And then the second update for purposes of public information is in the Laney Morgan federal lawsuit, oral argument was held in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. That occurred on October 11th. And hopefully within the next 30 or 60 days, we'll get an opinion from the court on the dismissal of that matter or the returning of that matter to the trial court. And at this time, I would ask the board to consider executive session under Public Officers Law Sections 108(3), which is to discuss any matter made confidential by federal or state law, and specifically so that the county attorney can provide the board with attorney-client communications regarding a contract and contract terms with an entity, Hood Communications, which is also one of the resolutions before the board today. It is not my intention to discuss the resolution, but rather the underlying contract with Hood Communications. And the second matter is a litigation matter under section 105(1)(d), which is the matter of Michael Easterbrooks versus Schenectady County and others, to include Warren County.
So moved. We have the request. We have a request. Do we have a motion to go into executive session by Supervisor Bramer?
I'll make that motion. I'd also ask to add the foreclosure action. That would be an appropriate topic for executive session. I have a question about the foreclosure.
So okay, and if we could add that, that would be, it's not my place to add or detract, but.
So you made the motion?
Yep.
Second by Supervisor Bruno. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Going to executive session. I'll ask everybody, please clear the room for a minute.